Welcome to the table. Take a seat. We're just about to begin. I'm D. Midgarin, joined once more by our cast of wonderful and affordable role players. We are done with Cyberpunk Red. It was an amazing game. We had a lot of fun. And honestly, for this mid gaming session, I really want to take a deep dive into the game system itself. I want to talk to the cast what they liked about the system, what they didn't like about the system, changes that they could see that they could make for the system. And then at the end of it, I would like each of the cast members to get a score from 1 to 10. Would you recommend this game to other players? So, I guess first off, let's talk about the likes. So, guys, Cyberpunk Red, what do you like about it?
I like the setting.
The setting allows you, one of my favorite things is cyberware. We didn't get to dive into too much in this game, but I feel like that opens up so many possibilities that other role-playing games don't really get to. I mean, D&D has magic items, but it's just so much different with what you can do with cyberware. And that's one of my favorite things about this setting.
I like that each class has its own abilities. Like it's something you can use, and it doesn't have to be like a combat ability. It can be a social skill, and it can be super useful.
Yeah, you actually get more use out of your non-combat skills in this game. Not always in combat in this game.
Yeah, that's also So I know we harped on their skills a lot, but I think having such a plethora of skills actually allows you to do a lot more outside of combat because of the skills. Like you can do demolitions or conceal and reveal entire fucking shuttles, and it's not like combat related. So I do like that.
What I liked is that Artie didn't get all the kills.
Yeah, not quite.
Has anybody gone through yet and counted how many, what her body count is?
There needs to be a kill tracker at the end of the video.
How many bodies you killed, how many bodies you didn't kill. And you got kills on 2 people that you didn't kill. One of them I did, and one of them I got help with Tink on. And
like
we're going to count that.
Just like a list of like Artie's kills, everyone else's kills, and see who wins.
We're going to try in those kills.
Oh yeah, you probably outbodied all of the
bodies. Earned it.
I need a doors locked counter on mine.
Right.
Exactly. Door counters, we going to keep track of that.
I wonder, I know I don't have the rights to this song, but I kind of want to, take just screenshots of, the different people that Artie's killed and play that, in the arms of an angel.
Memoriam.
Please, a moment of silence for the fallen NPCs.
We didn't know you that well, but we're still sorry.
Random guard 1 through 10, we'll miss you.
Lab techs 7 and 8 from the night shift at Cypress Logistics.
Right, that's the story, things that you guys liked about the story. I'm talking about the game itself, So let's go around the table. We'll start with Bishop. What is your favorite part about Cyberpunk Red? What is your favorite game mechanic?
It's just in general the way the combat rolls. It's kind of easy. It's not hard once you get used to it. It just took a little getting used to, but once you got used to it, it seems like it's an easy system. Some of the skills were good. Be better. I think for my character, if I had a little bit other skills other than that matched more with my character, but other than that, it was good.
Okay. Am I pronouncing this game tag right? It's Toxic, right? Or is that your character's name?
Both.
Gotcha. What was a game mechanic that you particularly like, yes, this is my favorite mechanic in this entire game?
Persuasion.
Okay. So the skill persuasion. Anything else?
I like the performance aspect.
Mm-hmm.
The way everything can be linked together if we knew the game inside and out, I'm pretty sure we could make just about everything meld together. Everything could be all the skills could be used for something that came up. Even things that we were noticing that we didn't think were going to happen. When I was looking for something to make explode, we're do we do a chemical check or how about demolition? And there's always an option.
I would agree. I do like the open-endedness of this game. It gives you a lot of options, a lot of choices that you can make. Whereas I feel that other games are more constrained to, or more very combat heavy. The mechanics for this game definitely gives way to more roleplay aspects.
I like the feeling in combat that you can die pretty easily. It's actually scary when combat breaks out because it's not oh, I have 400 hit points, a healing potion, a healing spell, all this. Cyberpunk, you get shot, you are in some trouble. Even if you've got some decent armor
mm-hmm.
and you only got grazed, it's gonna give you some negative penalties, and it's actually scary when combat pops off. And same thing for when you hit somebody in combat. It's not like, oh, I hit them, but they're gonna take that down. No, they actually got hit. They're down. They're suffering penalties. They actually got hit.
Yeah. One of the things that, as a throwback to the Deadlands games that we did, one of the things that I felt that we didn't have to do is we didn't have to do combat every single night. I feel like Deadlands is also one of those games that can be roleplay heavy. We did have a small opportunity to do it, but I feel in the grand scheme of things that we should not have been combat every single night. And I feel like I wanted to bring that into Cyberpunk because as I was reading through the system, yes, there is combat, but it's just a small part of such a wide game. H, what are your thoughts?
So my favorite thing is soaking damage. I thoroughly enjoy that if I get hit for like 12 points, if I'm wearing armor, I'm not taking that whole 12. I think it works really well because the system, it doesn't have like a rapid heal, basically. Like you have to take time to actually heal. It's a little bit more realistic in that sense, but they also take into account your armor when actually dealing out the damage. So I like that Artie, despite being the front runner on combat, like I think she took 8 points of damage throughout the entirety of the game. So because armor is a thing and it soaks and it's wonderful and I love that.
What was your armor during that?
11. She's got
Okay.
11 head armor and 11 body armor. Her body armor is currently at 10, and she ended the game at 43 out of 45 max hit points.
Luckily, did I ever even get hit during this? I don't think I even got hit.
I don't think you got hit unless you got hit at the very beginning in the first.
There was like the beginning part of it. I think there was a little bit more combat intensive, and a couple of people got hit. I don't know if you specifically got hit. I don't
think I ever got hit. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments if you guys watched the whole series. But
I mean, just for that, I'm gonna go watch the first episode and comment, be like, "Chief, you're dumb. You got hit." Hashtag first comment.
Oh yeah, I just remember all the way back like a month or so ago.
It's more like 2 months. We started this in January.
It been that long?
Yeah.
January, yeah.
It's been that fucking long.
Yeah, this game has dragged out for so long, and unfortunately, there's nothing really we could have done, because of health issues, some just technology breaking down.
I wonder if it was because so we're playing Cyberpunk, right?
Yeah.
So it's technology, like
Right.
maybe that's why the technology kept breaking down. It was like, oh, you're trying to use other technology? Well, just for that, I'm not gonna fucking work.
Tink decided to slam the door on the technology.
He's like, no.
Right.
So what's everybody's humanity at? What's your current versus your max humanity? I'm curious about that.
I think I even ever calculated mine due to the fact that we said we weren't really going to have to deal with it. I don't think I calculated mine, but I think mine was fairly low due to the fact that I spent a lot of things into cybernetics.
I tried to play that into her a little bit.
Mine was 63 out of 70.
Yeah, Artie's at a 36 out of 50, so I tried to. That's why she was a little bit maybe colder when it came to job time. Like she's like, all right, I got to do it, and so I like that aspect of the game too. It's kind of like their alignment, I think. So it's
I wish we would have got to dive deeper into that. Like if we would continue this story farther, I'm sure I would use that money to buy more cybernetics, and I would get colder as time goes on, till Tink is just like a freaking robot.
Talsorian Games, come on, ask us. If you ask us for a second season, we will deliver.
It's true.
It would be fun to see Tink like slowly get into just like this tech robot. It would be cool to see, but
right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Artie would do. I don't even know, honestly, if she's gonna buy a house. Like, she's got the money for it, but she really likes her tent. It's got purple fairy lights. So
now that we talked about the things that we liked, what are some of the things that you find that you could do without? Like, what is a mechanic that you feel like could probably be removed and not take anything away from the game? Something that, if you remove it, it might enhance the game. Bishop, let's start with you.
I think if you could combine some of these skills into one skill, that way you could simplify things a little bit more. Like to me, like some of the in underperformance skills like instrument. I mean, other than the rocker guy, mean, playing an instrument, that was one thing, but I think you could put that somewhere else and combine it with another stat. So I think that would help make this game a little better if they kind of like condensed or combined some of these skills to make them easier.
Okay. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
I mean, that was basically our whole topic of a previous video, so I think we all know how we felt about that.
Some of the life path stuff, I think, on that section of the character sheet, I mean, maybe they'd be more relevant in a long-term game, but I don't think for our purposes, like, we didn't get to talk about them much.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys don't know that Artie's most valued person is a public figure, like that kind of stuff, or her family's crisis. Some of the stuff came up, but like I tried to put in as much stuff as I could from there. But I think for a short-term game, it isn't necessary. So maybe if that was like a optional, I guess.
Okay.
I feel like character creation in general could be, unless you're really wanting to make a very in-depth character for the long-term game, could be condensed better. Like, we had to roll so many things that I never got to use. Like, I think I rolled 4 different stats that were about friendship. You could just say I'm bad at role-playing, but I didn't really go into friendship things that much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we really didn't have time to explore it or not, but yeah, I would rather just explore my character how I feel instead of just having to roll for all these different attributes.
Oh yeah, because you got like the friends and enemies section of the character creation.
Yeah, I'd rather just let that develop as the game goes on and instead of having to roll for all that.
Makes sense.
If there was an option in there to have like a quicker character creation where you just, went with your stats and jumped in instead of having to do all that, I think that would be better.
Okay. Toxic, what do you think?
I think I have to agree with him on that. Like, I think character creation could have been way more streamlined. Like, I found that there were things that I would probably never use too. Like, when am I ever going to use lip reading?
Well, if your character was a spy background, you could have learned some of that. That's all part of the character creation, but I get what you're saying.
My character could have used lip reading. Actually, somebody did use lip reading in this game, didn't they?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure Tink used it at some point.
I've never used it in this game. I know I've took the observant feat in D&D, and I have used lip reading in role-playing games, so I know it's not useless, but I don't think I used it in this game.
I would have sworn someone used it in this game. Oh, no, that was I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy.
Maybe.
Just a little.
I mean, I know I'm crazy. Let's be real. I am H. I'm definitely crazy, but...
HD!
Damn right.
All right. So, any final thoughts on the things that Cyberpunk Red may want to change in their next edition, I guess?
The solo's ability.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like reading on it, and basically you have to determine what you want to do before combat starts.
Yes.
Which is why I always went with just the spot the weakness just to add the extra damage. But there's like 4 or 5 other options.
Mm-hmm.
But like I feel like if I was able to, like, kind of like in D&D for sorcerers, they've got sorcery points that they can use for like different meta magic feats.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all, you can use it at the time that you decide you want to. Like in the middle of combat, I'm gonna do this for this, or monks have ki, they can use it for this. Like, I feel like with the solo ability, at least, it would be nice if that was more spontaneous, because combat is chaotic, and like maybe I want to deflect at a certain point, but I already decided before combat that I was just gonna add damage. Like, I'd like to be able to use the points more flexibly, I guess, rather than just like, well, hopefully I'll need it for this, and just kind of go with it. So I think I'd like that, if they would be so kind.
For me, it was more like I know I built combat medic. I built it for a reason. I think beyond the first session that we did, I really didn't use a lot of it. So I had to end up figuring out what else can I do with my character that would be useful, that I could help the team still accomplish the mission. So a lot of it was like, that's why I did the whole thing with Artie, with me being a pilot. Like, well, if I do this, and I'm better utilizing my character. Or if I do something like with the lab just being like a lab tech, then I'm doing something useful with my character. So there wasn't a lot for me to do in the combats that we did have that really was more combat medic background.
I feel
that, like no one got hurt except for Toxic that one time.
Couple people
least
that
her
age
bad,
it.
yeah.
I got smacked.
You got fucked up this game.
You got shot in the head twice.
And I trusted you.
I
I think it was when you got shot in the head first time is when you decided you wanted to go stream stuff.
know. That's wwhy. Like, he wouldn't have done it if he hadn't been shot in the head. Hashtag thanks, Petrochem.
One thing I would love to see, and there might be some options in like, because there was different levels of advanced in one character creation. I know we didn't do the most advanced one, but like some subclasses to like change what you can do a little bit. Because even as a tech guy, I'm not proficient in basic tech.
Which is weird because my combat medic was more strapped to basic tech. And
Now, cyber tech I can do all day, security tech I can do all day, all that. But basic tech? Nah, I can't do it, fam.
It's weird because
Neither can Artie.
you would think that basic tech would be like right up your alley because you could do all the other tech, and that would be it'd be a strength,
Right? And
not weakness.
I would find something to give up for that. Like maybe a subclass could be a specialty in more basic tech, or even demolitions. That's another tech skill that I would have maybe looked into if there's more of a subclass that specialized in that. And like I said, that this might be available in the more advanced options that we did not look into.
Like, is there like
But-
multi-classing? Like, can you do that in this game? 'Cause
There
we
is
didn't really go
there
into-
is options for multi-classing, but everybody starts off at level 4, and since we didn't advance on our levels, we didn't actually go into the option to subclass.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, but it is what it is, and it was a great game regardless of what we did, and it was still a lot of fun. But it's just one of those things. Like if you're going to game something and you want to build on that, then it would be someone said earlier. If this was like a longer gamer section where you could get into all those things, it would really be interesting and be fun.
Okay.
Well, again, I'd love to give a more in-depth review of being able to multi-class if I could play the game more.
If we get a second season of Cyberpunk, let's advance our characters a little bit and see about like adding in extra like subclass or multi-class kind of stuff.
That'll be something interesting to look forward
Yeah, but
in the
can't do
future,
that
maybe.
with Toxic because he's going to be dead, and undead doesn't exist in Cyberpunk.
I'm so
Very
sorry.
Or maybe
Very
he
true.
didn't fully die and he comes back with like a half robot brain.
That would be awesome.
We
Like,
blew him up.
like-
Like
I mean,
Yeah, but
he
it-
just comes back like Jason Todd in.
or
he can be
Universe.
he'll be the villain in the next season.
he
Oh,
could be the
God.
new
Or maybe his
when he-
consciousness is in a chip.
All right.
We'll call it Revenge of the Rocker Boy.
Oh no, man.
Revenge
Oh
of the
come on,
Rocker
because
Boy.
no, it's
Yes,
because you're
burning
already a
himself.
because you're toxic. So of course you're a virus. So everybody has it's the Rocker Boy virus. Like you literally have gone viral. Oh now, all right.
Oh, no.
Well, I want a second
Oh,
season.
yes.
I want a second season now. Toxic's
Just don't
gone
call it-
viral.
Just don't call it Revenge of Toxic, because then it's rot.
He like uploaded himself actually at the end there when he was like
It wasn't just a live stream. He was actually like
Yes.
plugged into the. He's plugged into the net, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god. So would he be like a net runner on crack then?
I don't know. It'd be really interesting, but
Oh,
we won't
man.
know. We won't know unless we get a second season.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, unless.
So
We'll also find out if Artie gets a house.
right. So when we go ahead round the table, scale of 1 to 10. Now I want to do 2 different scores. So one is going to be, of course, the short-term game, which is what we did, which is 6 sessions. So I want you to score it on how you feel that this game handles in like short-term one-shot games, and then how you feel that this system is more set up for like a long-term campaign. So who would like to go first?
Nose goes. I'm touching my nose, so that's not me.
I am not. So I will say that the short term, it's good. As in,
Scale of 1 to 10.
7 out of 10
7 out of 10. Short.
on the short term.
Okay. And how do you
I had
feel
a
like
lot of fun? I had a lot of fun on the 6th term, and if you were playing even shorter, it would get worse. Like the shorter you play it, the worse it gets.
Mhm.
Because it takes some investment, but the more time you put into this game, just with all role playing games really, but especially this one, the more time you put into it, the better it gets. The system is very good at getting into the nitty gritty of a character, more so than a lot of ones I've played, and I feel like it would probably get a 9 out of 10 on the very long term. It's very good on long term.
I agree.
Chief, would you recommend this game?
Yes. If you were to play this game, I would say invest in making the long-term character, invest in a very detailed world. And I know it's a lot to read and a lot to get to know, but once you do, and once you get into this game, you're going to be hooked.
Wonderful. Bishop, long-term, short-term, scale of 1 to 10.
I'll go with the same. I'm gonna do 6 out of 10, and then of course long term, I would agree with Tink. More options. I think if you invest into the options, you can do some really good character development with whatever to develop a character, grow your character, make him get some other opportunity to invest in some of these other things and see what you can do with them. So I would definitely recommend this game. Definitely short term is good too, but for a long run, I think it would be really good to see how it rolls out in a long term session.
Wonderful. So, Toxic, long term, short term, scale of 1 to 10. What do you think?
Short term, I think a solid 6.5. Because there was a huge learning curve, but like the story was really fun to play and experience. Long term, as far as like, once you get into it and you start to take on more skills and proficiencies and more cyber tech, I think it definitely can be a lot of fun.
Okay. Where would you put that on the scale?
8.5.
And would you recommend this game to other people?
I would recommend this game to a ton of people, especially people that are big fans of the old tech movies like Johnny Mnemonic and like iRobot, stuff like that would be awesome.
All right. And H.
I think I'm actually going to agree with Chief's scores. Go 7 and 9. 7 for the short term, just because it's very good short term. Like if you just go for like a basic character, I mean, they've got skills to kind of flesh you out if you don't want to do like a whole background thing, plus your abilities, and the combat's super easy. But then in the long run, I'd give it a 9 just because I don't think any role-playing system is inherently perfect. So there are things I think, that could be tweaked, whether that's by the game system itself or just, house rules. I know that's always an option, but I do think it's very fun, and I would 10 out of 10 recommend it for someone to play.
Well, guys, you heard it here. 4 out of 4 nights definitely recommend to play Cyberpunk Red. We hope that you enjoyed it. I want to wrap this up because you guys have been, I guess, a little bit aching to talk about the story because you guys kept doing that during the rest of this whole thing. So go ahead, open it up. How did you guys feel about Cyberpunk Red, The Heist, the game, the story that we just finished? Final thoughts.
It was good. I thought it was a good concept. I thought it was a good idea. It's a good way to bring beginner players that don't really know each other together, see how they interact and how they're going to pull this off. Each player had a critical part in what was going on, and other characters, even though they might not have been critical, they were just still there for kind of support to help out and to get the mission done. So I thought it was a real good thing.
I agree with all those things, but I'm going to say one caveat for the DM. It was your most predictable work, though, so far. For you, it's still not very predictable, but
yeah,
the fuck.
It was very linear.
Well, we know who's dying next season.
It was, yes, you're going to go do this heist, you're going to get done. We saw who was going to die. Like it was somewhat predictable, but it was a lot of fun. I had a great time playing it.
Nice save, dead man.
For those of you who don't play in his Tuesday game, like, he's not always that predictable.
He is normally very not predictable. He
you think he's
Game
going
of Thrones
left and he
kills off random people here and there. You don't know what's going to happen next.
He goes diagonal backwards instead of forward left.
I don't know to be offended or.
I think it worked for the story because it's such a short story. You can't throw too many curveballs at us because we're still grappling with the system. So
this is true.
We always say it's never over till the fat lady sing. You were the fat lady singing through the whole campaign. We knew what was going on.
The Mongolian. It's not over until the Mongolian sings.
Right.
There were a few times I was worried, are we going to get shot down? What's going to happen with this? There was definitely a few times I was still worried, but overarching story.
Basically, any time Artie was flying on that return trip, I was like, please don't fuck this roll up.
Anytime you were flying in general, I was like,
I know.
oh, what's gonna happen next?
Because it's like we got 2 chances at this, like me and then Max catching my fuck up if I mess up somehow, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that actually worked better in our favor than anything else to have that backup for just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like
man.
that you guys had a backup pilot. I definitely like that.
That
It
was
made
a
me a
smart
little
move.
calmer.
Yeah, and I thought that was a good thing to do. It's just something I thought about. I was like, well, what just in case something bad happened, we needed to have another pilot.
Co-pilots are always a good idea.
You never know.
Can I say one thing? Is that
suppose.
I just want it on record that Toxic has died 3 times,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
game?
that's about
3
right.
games.
3 times.
and
Yeah.
we've had 6 games or
Well,
5.
but
We've had 5. We've had
Yeah, I
5.
was gonna say he wasn't in the one shot, so
No,
I took
no.
his spot as the dying one
Right.
in the one shot. I volunteered to tribute on accident.
Um,
But Sergio's death was still my favorite.
I guess I appreciate you guys. It's like, oh, you this is totally predictable. It's not your normal style. I've actually had people message me. It's like, hey, I need you to do this in your traditional style. I'm like, I have a traditional style. It's like, yeah, you torment people. It's like,
Well,
Yes.
it's true. It's true.
You've also been tormented by certain.
oh,
players.
I get tormented all the time. It's a love-hate relationship I have with all of you.
And then it happens, and it knows it happens. He's like, God damn it! I sit back and say, "You're welcome," and he just doesn't say anything.
That's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah.
It's our entire friendship in a nutshell. Just one of us going, God damn it.
So we've come to the end. Glad that you guys enjoyed the game. I know that we had a lot of ups and downs, and we had delays after delays, and it turned out to something that, even though it took so long to get there, I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm glad that you guys really enjoyed the story. I'm glad that you guys really enjoyed the game itself. I mean, that's kind of why we do these things, is for enjoyment. So, listener, if you have stuck with us all the way towards the end, I do want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you're listening to this, we are at the end of this, so I would like to go ahead and make an announcement that, yes, we are returning. We are off for a couple weeks, but we will be back with our new adventure, and we will be playing Mutants and Masterminds.
Yeah, superhero.
So, good night, and we'll see you next time on Sunday nights. And for the final time, DJ, play us out.